G'day guys, I've just got back from the World Team Championships where I operated in a coaching capacity for Team Australia, representing my home nation in this epic clash of nations. It was an absolute ripper of an event, and I want to share with you what the experience is like as a coach, some of the information from the event, including a summary of each round, how we went, who we paired into, all of that sort of stuff. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get stuck into it.
Long for the Blood God.
Go, 3, 2, 1.
G'day guys, round one of the World Team Championships is underway. We've got Australia versus New Zealand happening behind me. Just going to give you a quick walk around and have a look at who's paired into who. And then we'll update you guys at the end of the round to see who managed to secure the wins. So let's flip the camera now and spin it around. There's Denise, head coach. All right, let's get in the middle here so we can do a 360-degree spin. All right, so we've got the big man, Matt Morrisoli, playing on the stream right now live. And I think I just walked into the camera there. So Solly playing into, what have we got? We've got his Chaos Knights into the Necrons. And over here, we've got Josh McMillan playing his Thousand Sons into the Chaos Space Marines for Team New Zealand. We've got Chris Wright playing his Eldar into New Zealand's Tyranids. That's a lovely bloke that I played yesterday. We've got Jeremy Martino playing the Chaos Space Marines lift that I helped him craft, and he's playing into David Gaylard's Death Watch. We've got Alex Terrison, Gene Steel Occult, playing into a Imperial Knights army there. Over here we've got Will Milton playing his Imperial Knights into the Eldari. Next game over here, we've got Liam Hackett. He's playing the Necrons into the Custodes. And then our last game over in the corner there is the Brodie Middleton playing his Tyranids into what looks like Necrons. So, yeah, some interesting. Wait, two Necrons players? What the fuck? Hang on, I might be making a mistake here. Oh, sorry. It's Gene Steel Occult, and they're painted grey, and they look like Necrons. Generally, when you see big blobs of models, you think that. So that's a summary of the round, of who's paired into who. And I will give you guys some updates as the scores come in. You'll notice there's that one vacant table. That's just because it's been replaced by the stream table. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Alright, g'day guys. We've just finished the first round versus New Zealand, and I thought I'd hit you guys with a quick update on what our scores are. It's very late at night, so forgive me, I'm a little bit tired. But yeah, I've got the scores in front of me here. So we had our Thousand Sons into the Chaos Space Marines, got a 13-point win. So pretty good, 13-7 to us. We had our Nids versus their GSC, which got a 20-0. So we 20'd him. Massive blowout, huge win for the Tyranids. Then we had Liam on the Necrons versus their Custodes, and this one was a shocker, 20-point win. So I don't think Liam lost a single model in the entire game. I think he just lapped everything and kept resurrecting, which is really good to see. Next we had Chris on Craftfoiled Eldar versus the Tyranids. And again, we got a 20-point win there, so another big blowout. Chris did amazing work with that Eldar. Next, we had the Will on a Imperial Knights versus their New Zealand Eldar list, which was a 4-point loss. So, bit of a expected result there. We know that, you know, Eldar, Wraith Knights, Wraith Guard, very good at killing Knights. So, that was somewhat to be expected. What else have we got here? Jeremy on his Chaos Space Marines versus their Deathwatch list. This was a 12-8 win to the Chaos Space Marines. So that's really good to see. Being a Chaos Space Marine fan, I'm glad to see Jeremy was able to pull that one through. I watched a lot of that game. There was some really interesting stuff happening there. Next we have Alex on the Genestealer cult versus their Imperial Knights. And that was a 15-point win to Alex. Really good to see. And last but not least, we had Matt Morosoli versus the Necrons. This was the stream game, and it was a 10-10 draw. So I highly recommend going back and watching that stream. I watched a bunch of the game live, and it was very, very interesting. So check that out. And that gave us a 114 out of a total possible 160, and meant Australia beat New Zealand and won our first round at the WTC. Alrighty guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm knackered. I'm going to grab some sleep, and I'll fill you in as we go tomorrow.
Go. 3, 2, 1.
G'day guys, behind me we have the start of round 2 of the World Team Championships, Australia versus Portugal. We're going to send these cunts back to Nando's. Let's have a look at who we have paired into who. Alright, so we've got some really interesting matchups happening here. I think we're looking pretty good. Alright, so starting, we've got Macca, 1,000 Suns into Genestealer cults. We've got Soli, his Chaos Knights, playing into their Ultramarines. We've got Will Milton, he's got his Imperial Knights into their Custodes. We've got fucking the Flag Bearer here, Love and Life. We got Terracin, he's got his Genestealer cults into their Knights, so another GSC versus Knights matchup for him. We've got our Tyranids here, Middleton, into the Orcs. Interesting take from Portugal there. We've got Jez running his CSM into Chaos Knights. And we have Big Ben Warrior, one of the other coaches, running around helping the team out. We've got Chris Wright running his Eldari into 1,000 Suns. And then over here we have the Portugal Eldari into Liam Hackett, Captain Hackett on his Necrons. And I think I already did this one, but we've got Macca, 1,000 Suns into GSC. So some really spicy matchups there. We're feeling strong, we're feeling good. Our chant this year is Aussie, 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 big dick energy. And it's definitely inspiring the team to show these other countries what Australia is made of. So yeah, that's the update. I'll hit you guys back when the round is done and let you know how we went. Alrighty, g'day guys. We've just finished round 2 into Portugal, and we indeed sent them back to Nando's. So I've got the scores in front of me here. We had Jeremy, he got a 16-point win, so that's a big win on the board for our Chaos Space Marines. Soli got an 18-point win, which is another massive win for our Chaos Knights. Chris got a 15, which is a nice win for the Eldar. We got a 15-point win with Alex Terracin on our Genestealer cult. Brody Middleton got a 17-point win, which is a great win for our Tyranids. Macca got an 18-point win, which is a huge blowout for our 1,000 Suns. A fantastic job there. Will Milton, 16 points with the Imperial Knights into a really tough matchup, so that was good to see. And then Liam brings it home with a 20-point win, which is another huge, monumental win for Liam. Let's see if he can keep up that momentum and keep bringing home those 20s. Really exciting to see. And that gives Australia a total of 135 out of the total possible 160 victory points that can be achieved in this team's format. So a really big win into Portugal. I believe the next team we're going into is Spain, so that could be interesting. They actually got a draw against Poland last year, which are one of the bigger sort of scary teams out there. So let's see whether or not we can put the hurt on Spain. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chris. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! 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 Yay! Woo!
Oh, he's cutting with a spear. That's based. This is based. It's based.
Yay!
Premium. Go. 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty guys, round 3 is now underway for the World Team Championships. Australia versus Belgium. Let's have a look at the pairings and let's have a look at who's playing against who. Alright, I'll get in the middle again so I can give you guys the full view. Alright, we're going to start over here. So we've got Liam Hackett running the Necrons into their Belgium's Genestealer cult list. We've got our Genestealer cult list into their Custodian Guard. We've got our Imperial Knights into their Thousand Sons. We've got the Wraith Knight mirror match here, Eldar v Eldar. Yuck. We've got fucking Matt Morrisoli playing into the Necrons again, so not on stream this time, but he's had this matchup before, so he knows who's doing. We've got Maka playing the Thousand Sons here into what looks like Death Watch. And then we've got the 2 games that I'm going to be paying very close attention to. We've got Brody with his Tyranids into Seiko, who's a friend of the channel, and he's running the Chaos Space Marines. And then we have Jeremy running the Chaos Space Marines into Imperial Knights. So I've got myself a little meat tray over here, which we've set up for the team. So we can have snacks during the games. I'm going to be walking around with that, and in between that, I'm going to be setting myself a seat right here and watching these 2 games with some world-class Chaos Space Marine players. So I will definitely keep you guys posted on what's happening there, and I'll update you guys with the results at the end of the round.
Go. 3, 2, 1.
Alrighty guys, here we have Team Australia versus Team France, round 4 of the WTC. We are pumped and ready to go and score some big battle points. We've got 2 stream games happening here as well, so make sure to check out War Games Live if you want to see those games happening live. Matt Morrisoli and Jeremy Martino on the live stream. But let's have a flip of the camera and have a look at what the rest of the team's got paired. Alright, so first stream game, got Morrisoli's Chaos Knights into Thousand Sons from France. Second stream game, Jeremy with his CSM into the Eldari for France. And then we got Will Milton with his Imperial Knights into the CSM. Very interesting CSM list. Alright, then we got Chris Wright over here with his Eldari into the Custodies. We've got Terracin, Alex Terracin there with his Genestealer cult. We've got Denise with the Tray of Food, and that's into Necrons. Then we've got Maka, Thousand Sons into their Marines list. I believe it's a Black Templars list, quite interesting. And then we've got Brody Milton on their Tyranid into Guard. And then last but not least, we have our fearless captain, Necrons, running into the Genestealer cult. So looking like some pretty good pairings. I'm really happy with the results of who's playing into who.
Look at him, unable to talk.
They found a way to shut me up. Fucking Denise. Alright guys, we'll talk to you soon. G'day guys, the team are inside doing pairings into our next round, which is in Scotland, but I wanted to update you with the results from the last round into France. Now it's a little bit unfortunate, we actually got the loss here, which is really disappointing. We were going in with really high energy, high hopes, but we had a few of those games that were on an absolute razor's edge for the majority of the round, and at any stage they could have either flipped into a massive win for us or a massive loss. And then one by one, each one of them just through dice flipped into massive losses. and that locked us out of the win, unfortunately. So here's the scores that we got. So Liam on the Necrons, he got a massive 18-point win. And Matt Morrisoli on the stream game, he got a 12-point win. However, the wheels thoroughly came off at that point. So the next best score was Alex Terrison got a 9-point win. Then both Chris Wright and Brody Middleton both got 7-point wins. Sorry, losses. I'm so used to saying wins for these guys. They got losses. And then Jez and Will got 6-point losses. And then unfortunately, Macca got a 4-point loss. So we only got 2 out of 8 games were wins, which is really unfortunate. The team did their best. They did a really good job. It was just one of those games where there were some unfortunate flips. There was a Custodes game where there was tons of 4-up saves passed, resulting in units living, and then that was huge swings, like 15 to 20-point swings in victory points. There was a few games that I was watching where the cards were drawn, and they were just really unfortunate cards that we couldn't achieve, whilst our opponents were drawing all these cards that were really easy to achieve. And that's the nature of the game, I guess. So yeah, unfortunately, that's a loss on the board for Team Australia. We've got, what, 2 wins, a draw and a loss now. So we can still podium. We're locked out of winning the event, unfortunately, but we can still pull a podium win, podium place. 3rd place is still on the cards. So we are not giving up yet. We are going hard. We're going to crush Scotland, and we're going to remind everybody that Australia is still here, and Australia does mean business. So yeah, wish us luck. I'll update you guys once the pairings are completed and let you know who got paired into who, so that you can sort of play along at home. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Go. 3, 2, 1.
G'day guys, behind me we have Team Australia into Team Scotland. Let's have a quick look around at the pairings and who's playing against who in this epic battle of nations. Alright, let me just get in the middle here so I can get a nice 360-degree view of the round. Alrighty, so let's start here. We've got Captain Hackett Necrons versus their Custodes player. Then we've got Big Matt Morrisoli, the Chaos Knights, playing into the Thousand Suns. Over here, we've got our Eldar, Chris Wright, playing into some Gene Stealer Cult. Really beautiful army there, by the way. I'll try and get some close-ups later if I can. Then we've got Jez playing the CSM into the Tau of Scotland. We've got Will Milton playing the Imperial Knights into Scotland's Necrons. Over here we've got Terrison, Gene Stealer Cult, playing into a disgusting barrage Imperial Guard army, so many cannons. Then we've got Macca, Thousand Suns, playing into what looks like Deathwing? Deathwing? Dark Angels. That's the one. That's the word I was looking for. Marines all look the same to me. Then we've got Brody with his Tyranids into the Eldari. So that's the things that we have this round. It's looking pretty good for us, I think. We've got some really strong games happening there. And basically our goal now as a team is to absolutely pump each team that we verse and score as many points as we can, because that's our only path back onto that podium. If we don't get some massive wins, we're going to be looking at maybe a top 5, top 10 finish. But if we can really just put these guys in the dirt and put them in the dirt hard, then we'll be able to get ourselves back on that podium. And going back-to-back wins is very difficult, but back-to-back podiums is something that we definitely have the strength to do. Our lineup is strong, our lists are strong, and we came here to get it done, and I think we can still do it. But yeah, wish us luck, and give us your best g'day cunts in the comments below. Alrighty guys, there we have the end of round 5. Another epic round of Warhammer 40k. You'll probably notice I'm wearing a slightly different shirt than I was in the early videos. One of the beautiful things about WTC is most players on a team will pack 6 or 7 shirts because it's such a long event. but you know at the end of the event you're not going to need 6 or 7 of the same shirt. So what teams do is they swap shirts with the opponents. So I've got a Portugal shirt on right now from one of the players on the Portugal team. So really excited to do trades with them. And we'll see what shirts I can pick up in the trades later on in the event. Anyway, as for the round score, we got a win into Scotland. So Alex Terrison got an 11-point win with his Genestealer Cult. Will got a 16-point win with his Knights. Jez got an 11-point win with the CSM. Chris got a 12-point win with his Eldari. Liam got a big 18-point win with the Necrons, another massive win for Liam. And then Solar got a 14-point win with his Chaos Knights. And the only 2 games that Australia lost this round were Brody lost with his Tyranids and Josh McMillan lost with his Thousand Sons, but they were 6 and 7-point losses respectively. So not massive blowouts. So a really strong performance from the entire team. Australia is back firing on all pistons, and basically looking at it now, there's a very real path for us to get 2nd or 3rd place. There's technically a possibility that we could get 1st. It's unlikely, but it is still possible, and we are treating it like it's very much something that we can achieve. So we're going hard, and we're not slowing down, we're not running out of steam, and I'll keep you guys posted. I believe we're going into Austria first round tomorrow, so I'll let you know when the pairings are done, and I'll keep you guys posted with the results.
Go. 3, 2, 1.
G'day guys, here we are, round 6 of the WTC, and we have Australia versus Austria. So it is the battle of the Aussies. So let's have a look at our pairings and let's have a talk about who's playing who, and then our predicted results. So over here, we'll start over here, we've got Brody Middleton on the Tyranids into their Orcs player. We've got Chris Wright on the Eldar into the Knights. That should be a nice solid win. Over here we've got Captain Hackett Necrons versus the Austrian Eldar player. Over here we've got Macca in the Thousand Sons mirror match. So we'll see whether bringing Magnus or not is the superior choice on that one. We've got Terrison, Genestealer Cults versus Necrons. We've got Milton, Imperial Knights versus a really interesting Chaos Demons list that has 3 Soul Grinders, which is a bold move given these tables and the density. Then we've got Jeremy, the Marigold, CSM into GSC. And then we rounded out with Matt Morrisoli running his Chaos Knights into the Death Watch. So it's there. I think it's looking good for Australia. But I was just chatting to the Austrian coach, and he was saying that they're pretty happy with the pairings as well. So it's always an interesting round when both teams are happy with the pairings, because it means somebody's wrong. And fingers crossed it is not the Australians, it's the Austrians. So yeah, I'll hit you guys back when we have some round results in. But yeah, wish us luck. Alrighty guys, there we have the end of round 6, and Australia got the win into Austria, which is really fantastic and has put us in a position where we can realistically achieve a podium if we keep up this momentum and if we push hard. So the scores from that round were Brody's Tyranids. He got an 18-point win, which is fantastic. Matt Morrisoli on his Chaos Knights got a 15-point win. Jez got a 4-point loss, but that was into Genestealer Cult, so that was expected. Chris got a massive 20-point win with his Eldari into the Imperial Knights. Will got a 14-point win with his Imperial Knights into their Demons. Liam got a 12-point win into their Eldari, which was the person who won the Warmasters singles event. So Liam was able to take his scalp, which is fantastic. Then we had Macca in the Thousand Sons mirror match, and they got a 10-10 draw. So it turns out that either way you slice that thing up, it's all good. And then last but not least, we have Alex Terrison also got a draw with his Genestealer Cult. So a really strong round. We only dropped 1 game. We got a really high battle points, which has put us in a fantastic position going into round 7. So I'll update you guys when we have the opponent, we have the pairings and all that sort of shit, and I'll talk to you soon. G'day guys, welcome to this round 7, the finals of the World Team Championships. We have Team Australia over here, Team Netherlands over here, the clogwogs themselves. So let's have a look at the pairings against who. I'm going to once again jump in the middle here so we can have a look around. Alright, we have Will on his Imperial Knights into the Eldari. We have Alex on his Gene Stealer Cults into the Imperial Knights. We've got Brody on the Tyranids into what looks like Gene Stealer Cult. We have Chris Wright on his Eldari into their Tau list, quite an interesting list. We've got Captain Liam Hackett with his Necrons into the Custodians. We've got Big Jez Martino, CSM into their Necrons. Over here, we've got Matt Morosoli once again playing his Chaos Knights into the Death Watch, around a matchup that he recently just did really, really well in, so it's good to see that again. And then we've got the Thousand Suns into Thousand Suns, so it's another T-Sun mirror. So we're seeing Mac is going to be deeply intimatable about that faction after playing multiple mirror matches with it at the World Team Championships. So we're looking good. The boys are pretty happy. On our predicted scores, we should win this round. I obviously don't want to jinx it. And it's going to be interesting because we don't have any scores predicting higher than a 12. And we don't really have any predicting lower than an 8. So all of those could very easily become draws if things don't go our way. Or if they do, in the case of the round, the matchups where we're expecting an 8. So it's all in the balance. Any one of those games could swing at any point. So I'll update you guys again when we do have some scores coming through. But for now, we're looking good. And as long as we can keep our predictions accurate, we should win this round. So wish us luck, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, g'day, guys. There we have the end of the 7th round. The final scores in for Australia for the World Team Championships. We just went up against the Netherlands and we put them in the dirt. So here are our scores. We got Brody on the Tyranids, got a 5-point loss. Matt Morosoli got a massive 17-point win. Jez on the CSM got an 11-point win. Chris got a 20-point win. That game was over in like 20 minutes. It was so crazy. Will got a 0. He got absolutely dumpstered, but it was okay. It was a put-up. We expected that. Liam got a 19-point win with the Necrons. Really, really strong result there. Josh got a 16-point win into the mirror match, which was fantastic result. We were expecting a draw. Getting a 16 is huge. Next, we had Alex Terrison got a 13-point win as well. And that rounds out our scores for this round. So based on the events, sort of layout and the way that everyone got their scores, it's looking like we're more or less locked in at a 3rd place. But there are still some teams that have got their scores yet to be submitted. So we'll have to wait and see. And I will most certainly be updating you guys once we have a podium locked in results. But it's looking like a 3rd place for Team Australia. So we're all really fucking chuffed. We're going to go out and get shit-faced tonight. But yeah, that's the results for this round. And I'll hit you guys up again when we have the final placings once all of the team's scores are in. All right, cheers, guys. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. You know what to do. And also, if you want to show your support for the channel, head over to blogforthebloodgod.com where you can get merchandise, you can join our Discord community, you can support us on Patreon. There's all different cool ways that you can show your support for this channel, and all support is greatly appreciated. It's going to help me bring out more content more frequently and of higher quality for you guys at home. So thank you again very much for those who do show your support. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Look for the blood god.
The Warhammer community suffers from some of the most prohibitively expensive essentials in the world, especially Australian content creators. Every single day, Dean wants to create content, but he can't. Suffering from old, worn-out brushes, expensive model kits, and costly software and equipment he can't endure much longer. Just look at this dirty paint water. Would you drink this? Would you let your child? Even a small monthly donation can help provide Dean with clean paint water, basic tools for survival, and access to life-saving information and education. So please, follow the links in the description below and find out how you can sponsor a mad cunt like Dean today and end the suffering. Suffering that is cruel, unsustainable,